Anyways, with all that being said, let's get into today's presentation. Today is a good one. All right. Welcome back. What I'm going to teach you today applies both to people who didn't watch. Well, actually, one sec. Let me go ahead and do that. There we go. So, as I was saying, what I'm going to teach you today applies both to people who didn't watch all the rest of the episodes as well as the ones who did. I'm going to give you the ultimate guide to starting a $373 a day business. The guide for you to finally start making thousands of dollars, just like a lot of people who join the Make Money Online Challenge are already doing. So you guys might be wondering, okay, people are going through this Make Money Online Challenge. Is anyone getting results? Well, I was looking at the earnings from people inside of Monetize on WAP, the real-time leaderboards that we have, and we have people who are already making money just with everything we have covered so far in the challenge. We have Joshua, who already made $21,817. We have Ryan, who already made $16,269. We have Nafi, who already made $4,727. We have Christian at $991. We have Juan at $506. We have Chuck at $192, and finally Max at $163 fucking dollars, which is incredible. So first things first, big props to all you guys who are already taking massive action on this and seeing the results of it. So let's go ahead and drop some love for those guys in the chat. Guys, just go ahead and drop like some heart emojis or go drop some love or some appreciation for all those guys, because yeah, you're killing it. You know, that's only a few days in, so just go ahead and show them some love. Hearts, W's in the chat. Hearts, love, massive action. Amazing. Yeah. Shout out to all those ladies and gents. All right. So with that being said, now my promise to you is with this challenge, my promise regarding this challenge was to get your digital product ready to start making sales by the end of the week. And as you can see, we have people who have already smashed that goal before we even finished the challenge. And my objective for today is to show you what you need to do in order to join them. If you are a beginner and just getting to know this online business world, well, this session is for you. If you already know about this world, maybe even tried getting into before with no success, well, then this session is for you. Or even if you're already a successful individual, whether that's in your own field or in the online business space, well, then this session is for you. Today, I'm going to give you the 3 keys to success in this new AI-driven non-expert economy that we are heading towards. So that way you can position yourself at the right place for this 5th wave of the digital world. And if you apply these keys to your own life, you too can create a $373 a day business that will take you from whatever situation you are in right now to what I call an ungovernable individual, someone who gets to take control of his life and dictate his own future. And I want to be clear. The 3 things that I'm going to share with you today work for people who already have expertise in a specific area, people who are already working a full-time job, who just want to supplement their income, as well as people who are looking for a career shift and people who are still in university and don't have any experience. People who are in their 20s and 30s looking to start an online business, or people who are in their 40s looking for a better way to pay their bills. People who don't currently possess any expertise or authority, as well as people who have never made a dollar online. Now, today, I have a very special announcement that's going to knock some people out of their seat. I am basically about to drop a bombshell that no one saw coming. However, this thing that I'll announce today will only be available until the end of today's session. So if you've been considering joining Monetize and you were just waiting for the right moment, or maybe you were not sure if it was the right decision for you or not, you will want to see this. But with that being said, I will go ahead and blue ball you a little bit. So all of that is in due time. And as usual, by the end of our session, we'll have a Q&A with my co-host, Jason. And by the way, the only way for you to be a part of this special session is by being here live, because we actually cut that out as soon as the live session ends. Now, we covered a lot in this challenge already. With what we've seen so far, you have all the tools you need to create your own digital product 2.0 business at your disposal. Because if you've gotten to this point, you already understand the simple 3-step formula to make money with digital products, which is develop, distribute, and deliver. Okay, simple as that. In case you missed that or you don't remember, it's very simple. Nothing happens until something is bought. And for that, you need a product. In order to have a product, you need to develop one. That is our first step. Our second step is about forgetting the word sales, erasing it from our minds. Because having your product placed on the right shelves where thousands of predisposed buyers are at is much more powerful than that. It is the reason why you see cans of Coca-Cola on every single supermarket shelf, but never see them knocking at your door or calling you to sell cans, because they don't need to. They have distribution. And in our second step, we take advantage of online marketplaces to distribute our product to thousands of ideal customers. So that way, we don't have to do any selling. Finally, our third step is quite self-explanatory. If you have a product, it needs to be delivered. And the way we do that, the delivery of our digital product happens on autopilot, meaning you can sell 10 units or you can sell 10,000 units with virtually the same effort. With this, we have a business that is scalable. That is our 3-step digital product formula. Now, during this challenge, you'll also learn how we take advantage of the right AI tools to develop a product, even on topics that you know nothing about, by formatting it as what we call a non-expert digital product. Now, let me just address something very important right now. There's some people out there trying to have this whole, oh, gotcha moment, saying that the AI I've shown you in the last 2 episodes, synthesis, is just a prompt on ChatGPT and you can get it for free. Let me ask you a question. That's the same as saying, or let me address it this way. That's the same as saying that or that's the same as going to a McLaren dealership and telling them, oh, but this is just a car. I can, a Fiat is also a car. Well, yeah, sure. Both cars have wheels, doors, steering wheels, but are they the same thing? Or are they even similar? Or do they just use the same concepts, but with completely different levels of engineering, material quality, and technology? That's like telling someone who needs to shave that they just find anything that cuts. Hey, if you need to shave your face, well, you can use anything that cuts. Okay, so let's think of a few different things that cut here. Scissors. If you wanted to shave your face, would you shave with scissors? If you want to shave your face, would you use a kitchen knife? Would you shave your face with a kitchen knife? What about a chainsaw? I mean, a chainsaw cuts things. Would you use a chainsaw to your face? Guys, drop a no in the comments if you're starting to see how ridiculous these examples are. Trying to say, oh, just because something cuts, you can use any tool that cuts to shave your face. Like, are you guys starting to see how ridiculous that is? Drop a no in the comments if you see what I'm saying here. Now, listen, for every task, there are specific tools to do that job. Just because all of them cut doesn't mean you're going to replace your razor with a sharp kitchen knife because you already have some of these at home. No, of course, to get specialized outcomes, you need specialized tools. Just like if you had a heart problem, you probably don't want to have a knee surgeon taking care of your heart operation, even though both of them are still doctors. Yeah, sure, they're both still doctors, but they're specialized doctors, okay? So that is the reason why what we do here has such a high rate of success, okay? Specifically because of the specificity that this tool gets done. Okay, listen, after all, when your financial future is on the line, wouldn't you prefer to use tools specifically engineered for the exact outcome you want instead of settling for something that just happens to share a few surface level similarities? So today, you're going to go ahead and learn the 3 keys to put together all of our learning so far, so that way you can kick off your $373 a day business this week already. So go ahead and drop a yes in the chat if you are excited to dive in. And with that being said, I'm going to have another little sip of tea. I saw someone in the chat and they're like, what tea are you drinking? I'm drinking a mint tea with some honey. Now, listen, if you want to succeed in building a successful business in 2025, here's what you need to understand. We are heading into a completely different economy, a new non-expert AI-driven economy. What I mean by non-expert is that, you see, back in 2010s, for the first time ever, people who were not experts in their industries started making fortunes in those industries. Now, I'll give you an example. I had a client back in my agency days who sold glowing teddy bears, okay? Glow in the dark teddy bears. Now, were they an expert in glowing teddy bears? Hell no. They never even visited their factory. All they did was identify a demand and then find a product to solve it, because the value of that product is not related to how much they know about teddy bears. And now, this exact same trend is repeating with digital products, where people who don't have any expertise in their industry are earning millions selling non-expert digital products that don't depend on them being the face of the product. And if you want to have an idea of how much this industry is going to grow, just check out how much e-commerce grew in the last decade. Digital products basically follow the exact same trends with a few years of delay. However, this revolution is going to be exponentially bigger because of the AI element to it. And it's during these periods of massive change that the greatest opportunities arise. And the last time we saw change, this fundamental, was the internet revolution. So let me take you back to the early 2000s for a second. Think about what life was like before the internet. If you're driving into a place you don't know, you need a physical map. If you want to buy something, you either had a store selling what you wanted in your city, or you just simply couldn't have it, okay? That was the situation we lived in. Let's say you wanted to share a photo. You need to get film developed and actually make copies manually. Let's say you needed information. You need to go to library. When was the last time you went to library to search for information? In 1995, the 5 largest companies in the world were General Electric, Exxon, AT&T, Coca-Cola, as well as NTT. Back then, Amazon was selling books. Netflix was mailing DVDs to people's homes. Google was operating out of a garage. Today, they answer 8.5 billion questions every single day. People started businesses from their garages. We now start them from our bedrooms. You know what was the total value of the top 5 companies back then? It was about $750 billion. Today, the top 5 are all tech companies, and these were all born from the internet revolution. We have Apple, we have Microsoft, we have Google, we have Amazon, and we have NVIDIA. Combined value over 12 trillion. That is a 16x increase in wealth creation. And here's the kicker. The AI revolution is moving 10 times faster than the internet did. What took Amazon 7 years to achieve, AI companies are now doing in 7 months. ChatGPT reached 100 million users in 2 months. It took Facebook 4.5 years. Just look at NVIDIA, which is now one of the top companies in the world. Back in June 2023, it had a market cap of less than 400 billion, which didn't even put it on the top list of top 10 publicly traded companies. In 9 months, it went from 4 billion to 1 trillion. Then in the next 8 months, it doubled again to 2 trillion. And then in the next 3.5 months, it added a third trillion, getting it to 3 trillion by mid-2024. The speed at which things are changing is growing exponentially. The internet democratizes success. Before it, for you to be successful, there were really only 2 ways. Number one, the old classic path that we've all been told. Go to university, get good grades, get a good job, climb the corporate ladder to a high-paying job. Or number 2, try to go it on your own, start a business with no access to advertising, outsourcing overseas. You're essentially stuck with a small customer base in your city and the suppliers that you have, and that is it. Meaning, in both cases, it was very unlikely for regular people to make it big or break free from the system. And then the internet allowed this new generation of individuals in their 20s, 30s, and 40s to start their own business with global reach and scaling potential out of their bedrooms. The AI is now, AI is accelerating this process by 10x, and you need to be aware of that. And by the way, I'm not saying that you're going to get replaced by AI overnight or anything like that. Okay, I'm not trying to paint some whole like doomsday situation, but there is also no guarantee that what you're doing today will still be relevant 4 to 5 years from now. And that's just the truth of it. One thing is a fact, just like with any big change, there's going to be winners and there's going to be losers. And that's a good thing, because in our case, not only can we protect ourselves, but we can also take advantage of this big shift that is currently unfolding. We can position ourselves to be on the winning team right now. We are currently living through a time where opportunities are available and within reach for all of us because of the power of the internet. And that is why I believe that there's no better time to start an online business than right now in 2025. So if you've been thinking about it and considering the idea for a while, this is the time to stop thinking and start taking action, because the opportunity is right in front of you. And I am here to help you seize this opportunity. So if you want to position yourself on the winning team, what do you need to do today? Before I give you the answer, I want you to do something. I want you to think back to our homework on episode 1. Do you guys remember what it is? I asked you to note down your why. And by the way, I sincerely hope you did that, because we are coming up to our last 2 days of this event. And these are the championship rounds. By the way, if you guys remember, this was to be expected. It's always going to be like this, okay? On day 1, you have the most amount of excited people. You have 55,000 people. Today at the moment of recording this, we have 15,000 people. That's normal, guys. That's like saying because with these live event days, you can compare it to like months in the year. That's like how many people show up to the gym on January 5th compared to show up to the gym on March 5th, okay? Like majority of people drop off. So all that to say that right now are the championship rounds, okay? This is the one that sets apart the contenders from the real champions, okay? And this is when you're going to start to feel a bit tired. This is when you're going to start to feel maybe even a bit overwhelmed. You might even feel like quitting. And it's especially when that happens that's even more important for you to keep taking action, because that is where the real champions are made. That is where the ungovernable individuals are created. And it's during these times when you might feel like leaving the session or leaving the challenge for later. And that is when you need to keep pushing through. And you need to remember why you're pushing through. It's in those times that I want you to think back to your why from episode 1, because that will give you the power and motivation to keep going and be successful on this challenge. Moreover, the reason why I'm saying all this is because I need your commitment to take action, especially if you don't feel ready to do it. Because in this life, you don't act when you feel ready, okay? That's not when you're going to experience the biggest breakthroughs of your career. That's what you truly need to understand. The people who understand that are the ones who have the best chances of success. And by the way, I'm not trying to say this to give you any sort of encouraging words or to inspire you. I say this because I see it happen in front of my eyes time and time again. I was just speaking right now to my head of product, Andres. Andres was my head of customer success for years. He worked with over 3,000 of our students one-on-one. And when he read this point, okay, as I was planning this whole presentation, as he was reading this point and I was talking about taking action before you feel ready, he told me the story about a student of his that he coached. So I'm actually going to, initially I was thinking about telling you the story, but I thought, you know what, rather than me telling you a story, let's do something even better than that. Let me actually just play the exact voice message that he sent me after we had that call where I was going everything, so you can hear from his own voice. Give me a sec, guys. I'm on WhatsApp. Take action. Here you obviously talk about those who take action without actually feeling ready are the ones that succeed. I have like a good example of that. So I'll kind of keep this short, but when I started coaching, there was this guy from Australia. His name was AZ, and he jumped on with me and he was starting an agency. And what actually happened is he watched some of Iman's videos and then just got the concept of like outreach. And he started reaching out to a whole lot of companies and then reached out to one of the biggest construction companies in Australia and said, look, this is what I do. But he actually had no agency at all. He had nothing kind of behind him. And then this client basically said, yeah, well, I'm starting this new business, demolition business. I need a website and then I need someone to run ads for me afterwards. And he basically signed a deal on like a 12K website. And then I think it was a 6K retainer. I think it was AUD. But he basically signed this huge retainer. And then he wasn't a part of the program or anything like that. And then he bought an agency navigator at the time, jumped on with me. And I was like kind of going through my frame and he just stopped me. He was like, bro, I need your help. Like I just took blind action on this thing. And now I have this huge client in the pipeline, but I have nothing. I have no agency. I have absolutely nothing. And I need your help right now. And then we jumped on later in the day. I think it was like 3 a.m. this time. We got him a contractor. We sorted everything out. And then I think it was like 3 months later, he was making, over 30K a month. And he went all the way up to 50 eventually. Insane. And the reason I want to play this as an example is really to depict this. Okay. Now, let me ask you a question. Isn't it true that every major breakthrough in your life came when you pushed through discomfort rather than waiting until you felt ready? They were, right? If you actually think back and you look at every single breakthrough that you experienced in your life. So when you look back 30 days from now, either with a successful digital product or with nothing to show for it, would you rather be the person who committed to uncomfortable action rather than one who decided to wait until they felt ready? Listen, I'm sure we all agree on that. So when the time comes, just know that this is the perfect moment to prove to yourself that you are truly ungovernable, someone who takes action regardless of how they feel. Drop a yes in the chat if you are excited to dive into it, okay? Drop a yes in the chat, and I'll have another swig of water this time. Beautiful. All right. So how do you take advantage of this new AI-driven economy? What do I actually have that you don't? Okay. I know that some of you guys might be wondering that. Like, what do I have that you don't that allows me to succeed in this industry while most people struggle to make a single dollar here? And I will tell you that in just a second. You see, for some people, they might look at someone like me who got to the top of this industry and might think that I was blessed with an extremely high IQ or that I had a rich family backing me up or maybe that I just got lucky. Whatever you might think, the fact is that most people think that I have something that they don't inherently. All of those feelings come from the fact that you think that we are different. But quite frankly, we're not. I am you, you are me, and we are no different. Except for the fact that for some of you, you might be the version of me from a few years ago. And the only difference from that old Iman, from the Iman that you see today, enjoying the spoils that come from being an ungovernable individual, the only thing that sets us apart is throughout my years in this industry, I acquired 3 keys to success that ultimately led me to where I am today. And the only thing stopping you from also becoming an ungovernable individual and achieving success in this new economy is having those very same keys in your life. And that is what I'm going to give you right now. The 3 keys to success in this new AI-driven economy. Now, what needs to be made clear here is this. This is an urgent matter. And here's why. Just like with any big breakthrough, there's a curve of adoption, okay? At first, it was very hard to get into this new economy. Think of a computer. When the first computers were launched, you need to know a lot about coding to interact with the computer's interface in its own language. And that was extremely hard to learn back then, okay? Now, over time, computers have become way more simpler to use to the point that virtually anyone was capable of using a computer. And this is where we currently sit in this new AI-driven non-expert economy. Now, here is what you need to understand. The computer didn't stop evolving there. It kept evolving faster than ever. Today, you can do things with your computer that were unimaginable just a decade ago. Now, if someone who never touched a computer before were to try to learn how to do those things today, it would take them years to learn. And by the time they finally learned, the technology would have evolved so much further than it was from years ago when they started to learn, that at that point it will already be outdated, to the point where they would never be able to catch up because they lost the optimal period of adoption. That small period in time right before the two curves cross. All period in time right before the two curves cross. And that is how easy it is to adopt a new technology. And the curve of how complex that technology actually gets over time is very important for you guys to remember. Okay. And the reason I keep repeating it is because there truly is an optimal period. Okay. There truly is an optimal period. And it's very important that you time things right. On the other hand, I'm sure you're already seeing your parents struggling with new technologies, even though they've been using them for the last decade. So imagine someone who has never used them. That's someone who's adopted that technology too late. And as the line on the chart shows, technology develops so quickly that they're just simply never going to be able to catch up. Think of surfing, okay? There's a moment when you see that wave forming. That is your window to start paddling. Now, if you catch it at the right time, you can ride that wave all the way to the shore, gaining more and more momentum. But if you wait too long, you only start paddling you only start paddling when you see everyone else paddling as well. Not only will you miss the wave entirely, but something way worse will happen, okay? By the time you start paddling, the wave is already breaking right on top of you. Instead of riding it to success, you get crushed by it, tumbled underwater, thrown around, struggling just to get back to the surface, while everyone who caught it early is smoothly riding to the shore. While that's happening, you're gasping for air, trying to recover. The combination of digital products and AI is exactly like this wave right now. We are at that critical moment where the wave is just forming. Now, here's the urgent part. The window is closing. Just like your parents struggling with smartphones despite having used computers for decades, those who do not jump into this now will be perpetually playing catch up. The technology curve is already accelerating. What takes you a weekend to learn today might take newcomers months to learn next year. And by the time they learn, we'll be onto something even more advanced. This is your moment to paddle, the sweet spot where you can still easily get in, but early enough to ride the full wave of opportunity ahead. So go ahead and drop a ready in the chat below if you are ready to learn the first key to success in this new economy. Beautiful. Listen, the first key is the right model. Because although AI is indeed revolutionizing the space and completely changing the internet landscape, AI is not going to make money on its own. You need to plug it into a money-making model. So that way you can leverage AI to actually make money. Because AI does not equal money out of the box. But AI plus the right model, that's where the money is. Think of AI like electricity. When electricity was first discovered, it was revolutionary. But electricity alone, sitting in a power plant, doesn't make anyone money. It's only when you connect it to the right appliances that it becomes valuable. You could have all the electricity in the world, but without a refrigerator to keep food fresh, without lights to illuminate houses, without machines to run factories, that electricity would all be worthless. The same is true for AI. It is an incredibly powerful force, but like electricity, it needs to be plugged into the right appliance, which means the right model to generate income. Some people are trying to use AI like someone trying to make money by just producing more electricity. But the real winners are those who understand that AI is the power source, not the end product. The key is finding business models that act like these early electrical appliances, models that take advantage of AI's power to solve real problems and create value. The refrigerator didn't compete with electricity. It utilized it. Just like the right business model doesn't compete with AI, it leverages it. So when you're looking for opportunities in this new AI landscape, don't ask, how can I make money with AI? Instead, ask, what business model can I connect AI to that will transform that power into actual value and revenue? Because the money in of itself, okay? Sorry, I should say that because the money isn't in the AI itself. It's in the model that you connect it to, all right? AI, powerful. Digital products, powerful. You put them two together, it is a home run. Now, how do we define what is the right model? Well, there's really two criteria that we need to pay attention to here. The first one is quite self-explanatory. It needs to be a model that actually benefits from AI instead of getting replaced by it. You see, when electricity was first introduced, there were two types of businesses related to lighting. Type 1, candle makers who provided lights for homes and businesses. And type 2, electrical appliance manufacturers who built lamps and other devices that used electricity. The candle makers were directly replaced by electrical lighting. No matter how good their candles were, their entire business models became obsolete. But appliance manufacturers, their businesses thrived because of electricity. The more homes that got electrified, the more their products were needed. When choosing your business model in the AI era, you want to be appliance manufacturers, not the candle makers. You want a model where AI makes you more valuable, not less. For example, if you're doing basic content writing, AI might replace you. But if you're someone who uses AI to analyze market trends and create strategic content frameworks, you become more valuable because of AI. The tool amplifies your capabilities rather than eliminating your role. The right model is one that grows stronger with AI, not weaker. Well, how do you check that? Simple. Just ask yourself, does the advancement of AI make my business more powerful, more efficient, and more profitable? Or are you constantly looking over your shoulder, wondering if the next AI update will make you obsolete? Criteria 2, it needs to be replicable. Look, it doesn't matter if someone with years of experience in this industry can make a model work. It's like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. That does not mean that it's a good model. A good model is one that even beginners can replicate. Think of a business model like a recipe. There are two types of recipes in the world. Type 1 is the chef's special that requires years of culinary training, rare ingredients, perfect timing, and artistic flair. Only a handful of master chefs can recreate it successfully. Type 2 is a McDonald's Big Mac recipe, okay? It's so precisely documented and systematized that virtually anyone, regardless of cooking experience, can follow it and produce the exact same results every single time. When it comes to leveraging AI for business, you don't want the chef's special. You want the McDonald's recipe. Why? Because a truly proven model isn't about what's possible for the top 1% of talented individuals. It's about what's replicable for the masses. McDonald's didn't become a global empire because they had the world's best chefs. They succeeded because they created a system so simple and foolproof that any teenager could follow it and deliver consistent results. The same principle applies to AI-powered business models. If only tech geniuses or business veterans can make it work, it's not a real model. It's an exception. A genuinely proven model is one that can be broken down into steps so clear and straightforward that even someone with no special skills or background can implement it successfully. This is the difference between a model that creates a few success stories and one that creates a movement. You want the model that turns AI into a plug-and-play system where anyone who follows the steps gets predictable results, just like anyone who follows the Big Mac recipe gets a Big Mac. And that is why I personally consider digital products to be the perfect model to pair with AI. It is a simple 3-step process anyone can follow. Develop, distribute, and deliver. It doesn't get easier than that. And because it's so simple, AI can do all the steps for you. So even if you don't believe in your own capacity to do it, all you need to do is trust the software. The second opportunity you need is the second key you need, I should say, is opportunity, because most people understand what true opportunity means. Opportunity is not only knowing about something big that's about to happen. Opportunity means having the resources you need to take advantage of that situation or event. So my question to you now is this. You know about this huge opportunity that we're currently living through, digital products 2.0, the 5th wave of digital products, okay? You know about it, and you understand how AI is making this wave 10 times bigger than all of the ones that came before it. Now, do you have all the resources you need to take advantage of this opportunity? And it's funny, whenever I ask that, I purposely use the word resources. Now, when I say that, when I ask you if you have the resources you need to take advantage of this, what's the one thing that comes to your mind? Drop it in the chat. What is the bottleneck in terms of resources you think about when I ask you this question? Money, money, money. Everyone says money. And I find that so hilarious because the fact is 90% of the time, the resources you're lacking is not money. It is the right tools. That is actually what you need. Just think back to what we were talking about earlier with the internet revolution. We were talking about the ones who won with this revolution. Now, let's think about the ones who missed this opportunity. Who were they? Think of the biggest companies back then. Kodak, did they have money? Yeah, they had lots of it. They did $16 billion in sales by 1996. Did they manage to take advantage of this opportunity? No, they got wiped out of business. Why? They lacked the right tools to monetize digital photography. So the ones that did have those tools, even though they had considerably less money, they took their place. Another example, Blockbusters. Did they have money? Yeah, they had insane amounts, over 6,000 stores in the 2000s. Did they manage to take advantage of this opportunity? No, they lost to Netflix, even though barely anyone knows who Netflix was back then. So, as you can see, even in cases of companies that had all the money in the world, that didn't do anything for them, meaning the problem is not lack of money. In both of these examples, the problem was a lack of the right tools. Blockbusters lacked the tools to rent movies through the internet. Kodak lacked the tools to manufacture digital products and stuck with old film cameras instead. Even if you think of the most basic example, If you take a dentist who went through all the best universities in the world, got postgraduate masters, he has all of the qualifications, but he doesn't have a dentist chair. Okay. You have a situation where you have a dentist who went to all of these top universities, okay, in small cities that no one's even heard of. But without a dentist chair, he's not going to do anything. So let's take that example. And then let's take an example of a dentist who is even operating in a small city. Okay. He's operating in a small city, but he actually has a dentist chair. So like he doesn't have all the other crazy big advantages, but he has the tools. Okay. He has the tools. Who's going to win? Who's going to make more money? Of course, it's the one who has a chair, because all of this other crap is irrelevant. Who, what family you come from, what this, what that, but like all of this stuff gets wiped out and eradicated if you have the right tools. Okay, tools are the equalizer. You see, the fact is, it doesn't matter what you do or the size of the opportunity that you have in front of you. You are going to need the right tools to succeed. Even if you have a lemonade stand, by the way, you still need to have tools. You need to have a lemon squeezer. Everyone understands that if you want to succeed in life, you need the right tools. And most of the time, the best opportunities out there don't require you to have money to take advantage of them. But all of them require you to have the right tools. So the question you need to ask yourself is this: what tools am I missing to take advantage of the opportunity that's in front of me right now? Now, whatever model you decide to pick moving forward, there is something crucial that you should know. Even if you consider yourself too old to try something new, know that when you choose the right model, you are closer to success by starting from scratch in a completely new field than you are by stubbornly following the wrong path. And if you're younger, even better. Know that with the right model, you have the potential of achieving in just a few years what most people don't achieve in their entire lifetimes, as long as you have the third key, which is access. This is so overlooked, yet so damn important, okay? Because you can have the right model, even the right opportunity, but if you don't have access, you're still screwed. Now, access isn't just about knowing someone. It's about having the ability to reach, use, or even benefit from something that most people can't. And there are 3 types of access that allow you to do it: access to information, access to resources, and access to people. Let me break them down. Access to information. Question: why do you think people get rich? Okay, why do you think the rich get richer? It's not just because they have money. It's because they have something even more valuable. They have information. Okay, they know when a neighborhood is about to boom before the property prices skyrocket. They know which stocks are about to explode before the news hits the public. They know which business trends are emerging before they become mainstream. And this information is often dealt behind closed doors, okay? In the right rooms, the right country clubs, the right dinner tables. And you may think we live in a world where this information is available, okay? This information is more available than ever before, which is great. But this also causes problems, because sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between genuine information, misinformation, and as well disinformation. Okay, sometimes it's hard to distinguish. Did you know that for every 1 degree an aircraft is off course, it ends up 1 mile off track per 60 miles flown? Meaning, if you miss your heading by just 3 degrees on a New York to Los Angeles flight, you don't land in LA, you land in Tijuana, Mexico. And that is what misinformation does. The more you act on it, the further you get from your goals. And sadly, it happens all the time. People on social media telling you what to do who have never done it themselves. Some are even weighing in with their own opinions on the content that we've shared over the last 3 days. Now, their intentions are good. They are genuinely trying to help you, but their information is just incorrect. Like people talking about what AI software is and what it does without even having used it. Or the same people who made little to no money with digital products and have few or no people who they've ever actually helped do the same. Be wary of listening about money advice from people who are broke, okay? Even if they seem nice and they seem sincere. Now, you know what's even worse than misinformation? Disinformation. This is where people intentionally mislead you because either they don't like me, or more likely, to be honest, a lot of these people, they're actually fans behind the scenes. It's just, the game is the game. It's for their own personal benefit. You know, they post things on socials with my name and images in the titles and thumbnails. They put everything we do here on this challenge under a microscope, and they intentionally misrepresent everything they can. And for what? Clicks, views, ad revenue. They have no name, so they trade on mine. And I hate to even bring this up, but I'm addressing this specifically because I see people being misled. Just so you know, whenever there's an angel on your shoulder telling you what to do, there's a devil on the other side that will appear as if they're trying to talk you out of it. And they appear that they're working in your best interest. So let me ask you, when your entire future trajectory can be thrown off course by a single degree of misinformation, doesn't it make sense to seriously consider the source? And wouldn't you agree that there are others out there who are trying to mislead you away from what we are doing here and try to get you to follow them in their own best interest? So it's real simple. We are building a house for you brick by brick to help you succeed, which is hard and it takes a lot of effort. And they are out there just trying to tear it all down, which is easy, but it doesn't help you. They react with their hot takes in a few minutes with their misinformation or their disinformation, while we spend months and years working hard to give you the right, genuine information, because access to that information gives you true power to finally change your life. Now, let's move on to the next level of access that you need, and that's access to the right people. Have you ever noticed that all successful individuals always seem to have access to the exact right people to take them there, especially the most successful ones? Warren Buffett had access to Benjamin Graham, the father of value investing. He is the one who gave him a framework that made him billions. Steve Jobs had access to Steve Wozniak. Basically, without Wozniak, Apple wouldn't even exist. Jobs had the vision, but he needed access to someone who could build the actual product. Mark Zuckerberg had access to Sean Parker, who connected him to the right investors and helped him avoid rookie mistakes that would have killed Facebook in its early days. Jeff Bezos had access to David Shaw, the hedge fund manager who introduced him to the internet's potential before most people had even heard of it. Elon Musk had access to Peter Thiel and the PayPal mafia, which is what helped fund his companies that no traditional investors were willing to invest in. After all, the truth is simple. The individuals who have access to the best opportunities, the best knowledge, and the right people are way more likely to succeed than those who don't. And trying to play against them is a losing game because the odds are stacked against you. And this is why people who are connected or come from wealthy families are so much more likely to succeed in those same industries as their family, right? Listen, it's just the reality of it, okay? If you're just a regular person with no access to the right people and you want to open, let's say, a retail store, for example, you're going to have to find a vacant storefront on your own in a random part of town. You have to negotiate your own lease, handle your own marketing, and hope that foot traffic eventually discovers you. Now, if your uncle happens to own the most successful shopping mall in the country, and he not only gives you prime storefront space right by the main entrance, but he also puts your store name on the mall directory with a special star next to it, and he has mall staff directing shoppers specifically to your location, let's be real here. Who has more chance of achieving success? Obviously, it's number two. Now, this isn't just a slight advantage. It's like having a completely different rule book than everyone else in the game. And that's why I say that some people get to play life by their own rules. And that is what happens when you have access to the right people. The reality is life is not fair. The right model with limited access, you'll make some progress, but you're going to hit ceilings quickly. The right opportunities with limited access, you'll see it pass you by while others who capitalize on it, okay? But with the right access, even an average model becomes profitable, okay? This is what you truly need to understand. Even a small opportunity becomes life-changing, but because access doesn't just open doors, it builds entire highways to destinations that others simply can't reach. The bottom line is this: success is directly related to the level of access that you have. More access equals more success. And you can do two things about it, okay? You can complain that life is not fair and the game is rigged, or you can accept that's how things work in real life and jump to the winning side of the game. After all, do you want to be successful or do you want to keep complaining for the rest of your life? Access is the secret key to success in this new economy. So ask yourself, what information do you need access to? What resources do you need access to? What people do you need access to? The ones who possess these keys are the ones who will build fortunes, while others are still trying to figure out what the hell AI even is. The model matters, the opportunity matters, but without access, you're still on the outside looking in. With it, there are no limits to what it is that you can achieve. Now, the question becomes, how do you get access? The truth is, there's only one answer. You need to pay for access, either with time or money. And paying with time, almost every single instance turns out to be more expensive. Paying for access with money always costs less than paying with time, because time is the one resource you can never get back. Money can be replaced. Time cannot. It would take you years, if not decades, for you to organically build a network that allows you to get access to very high-level individuals. On the other hand, you can literally just pay your way to instant access. And most of the time, paying for that access is way cheaper than most people realize. It goes back to our point of knowing how to use your resources. Money is a resource, and smart people know how to use it to their advantage. So today, I want to give you the same level of access that I and very few other people have, even if you are starting from scratch. And with this, you're going to have the right model to take advantage of the best opportunity because you have access to the right people, tools, and resources. Now, I want to give you the privilege to be one of the first to join the fifth wave by combining AI with digital products. If you ever wanted to be early for something big, this might be your opportunity, because I'm about to present potentially the greatest risk-free offer in history. You now have two choices and one decision to make. You have enough information to do this on your own. Not all the information, so you will still have to figure out a bunch of things on your own, but you have enough to walk the path yourself. Your second option is, instead of walking the path, you can take a jet. And right now, I am extending to you the opportunity to jump into my private jet, so that way you can get to your dream destination faster, safer, and with more impact. Because the truth is, getting there by jet is the most predictable way to go from where you are right now to where you want to be. And it's with great pleasure that I open the doors to my I should say that it's with great pleasure that I open the doors to this special opportunity to cash in on Digital Products 2.0. So if you're ready to join me on this jet and fly to your destination, to your turning point, you have one last chance to join me inside of Monetize. You will get access to the right model. That is digital product formula. Imagine if you could have me walking you through the entire creation of digital products from zero in practice, and showing you all the small details that you need to pay attention to in each one of these three steps: develop, distribute, and deliver. This is exactly what this program shows you how to do. It breaks the process down into three pillars. Pillar one is develop. Here, you're going to discover how to use AI to identify profitable product opportunities that aren't saturated with competition, and get your entire product built for you in a matter of clicks. This way, you won't need any previous expertise to win big with your first digital product. Pillar two is distribute. Here, you're going to discover how to position your product in the exact places where people are already looking to buy digital products just like yours. So that way you can get your digital product in front of tens of thousands of qualified buyers without having to become some sort of social media influencer or burn through your savings on ad spend. Pillar three is delivery. Here, you discover how to set up your delivery systems, so that way your digital product basically runs itself. And this is what allows you to actually enjoy the income from your digital product instead of becoming a slave to it. And that is when you can truly create a product once and sell it 10,000 times. Wouldn't it be great to have all the best technology working for you on your behalf without you even knowing how it works? Congratulations, you now have that. This way, all you need to do is follow along and click the same buttons I'm clicking on your end. Are you capable of following my instructions along and just clicking the buttons I show you in the classes? Are you? Can you do that? Well, then great. If you are capable of achieving that, then you are capable of achieving success with this. Because at that point, success stops becoming about figuring out and simply becomes a matter of implementation. And that is exactly where you're going to get inside of Digital Product Formula. Just by following these simple instructions, we already have people inside Monetize just in the space of a couple of days making money from this process, okay? Just in a few days. So imagine what could be done in a few months. And now I want to give you key two, which is the opportunity. However, this key is not only about the opportunity itself, because what good is recognizing the massive potential of Digital Products 2.0 if you don't have the resources to actually capitalize on it? I mean, at this point, you already understand that Digital Products 2.0 are the biggest, most wide open AI opportunity that no one is talking about yet. But does it really matter knowing that digital products are the thing to do if you can't create a digital product yourself? Does it really matter knowing that you need distribution if you can't get distribution yourself? And even if you have a digital product developed and distribution secured, is it really going to do anything? Or is it really going to do anything for you if you can't deliver your product? Can you see how having knowledge without implementation is like seeing a gold mine, but having no equipment to actually excavate, no equipment to actually extract that gold? The truth is, the real difference between those who will profit from the fifth wave and those who will miss out entirely is simply a matter of who has access to the complete system rather than just pieces of the puzzle. Now, to your benefit, with this new software I've been developing, we've just made creating an online income realistic for anyone, because with this, we're not just going to give you the right model, but also all the resources you need to take full advantage of this opportunity. With it, all of the traditional barriers people used to have to deal with are now gone. And with AI, it takes just a fraction of the time and effort to make this work. Because what used to be the hardest part of this process is now the easiest: developing your product, getting distribution, and automating your delivery. So I can confidently say that creating your first digital product has never been easier inside of Monetize, because you don't even need to trust yourself to take advantage of this opportunity. You just need to trust the software. The software does it all for you. And here is how we'll do it for you. Historically, the barrier to entry in this industry was on the very first step, actually developing the product itself. So what if you could actually outsource the most difficult part of this business to AI and just let it do the work for you? So that way, what used to be the hardest part now becomes the easiest. Well, that is what synthesis AI does for you. Do you remember earlier when I talked about the huge difference between generic AI and specialized AI, and how comparing generic AI to specialized AI is trying to tell people at the McLaren dealership that their cars are just like Fiat? Oh, I got you. Well, yours is a car too. Well, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, but it's not specialized. Now, here's why this is super important, okay? People don't understand. This is why this is so important. Later on, I'm going to be giving you premium placement in the Walt marketplace right here. Do you know, okay? Do you know that when you go to a fancy hotel, for example, you go to these fancy hotels in Monaco or Dubai, they line up all of the cars in front. Do they park Fiats there? Okay. Do they park Toyotas in the front? No. They only allow the best supercars to park in the premium spots. Okay. So do you really think I'm going to allow some Toyota to park at the most premium placement of a company that I'm a co-owner in? Hell no. And that's exactly why we developed Synthesize, to guarantee that your digital products are like McLaren's parked front and center in the most premium location, not Toyotas or Fiats that will struggle to stand out amongst the competition. At this point, you're already familiar with what Synthesize can do. It develops the entire product for you, the core content, all the necessary tools, even the scripts for your product videos. This AI is trained on all the data of over $1 billion in digital product sales through WAP. And most importantly, Synthesis AI is specifically designed to help you create products that don't require you to be an expert. And to prove that Synthesis AI actually works, I created an entire program with it myself, okay? So I got synthesized to create an entire program. It's called Millionaire Mindset. I made it a point to not change a single thing on the script just to be able to say this. And by the way, I also purposely made a huge mistake in the framing of this product just to prove a point. I sold a mindset course, which is a terrible framing, positioned not even in the second layer, but in the first layer, as we covered in episode 2. And you already understand why positioning your product in the first layer is a huge no-go. And still, I made over $370,000 from it in the last 30 days. Over 13,000 people joined it at this point. Let me make that clear. That is 90 minutes of work to make more than most people make in a year. So anyone who bought Millionaire Mindset, you are a literal proof of concept that Synthesize works. What other tool in this market has created a product from zero and sold over $370,000 worth of units in less than 30 days? Simply none. Do you see now why people are willing to pay $2,999 a year to access this tool alone? And by the way, that program we created with Synthesis AI, that was the alpha version, okay? And that was released back in January. It was literally the first program it ever created. Was it the best program? No, I'll be honest, it was okay. Today, though, you couldn't tell apart a program created by Synthesize or a PhD in that area. The level of programs it is creating right now, it doesn't even come close. And you are getting unlimited access to it at no extra cost to you as a part of your monetized membership. How much simpler would this process be if you had access to the same tool that's been validated with over 13,000 sales from a single digital product in the last 30 days? And that is what it means to have access to the right resources. That is how you position yourself with the right model to seize these opportunities. Bonus 4 is Ghostwriter OS. Now, I want you to imagine that you've created the most delicious ice cream in the world, but you've set up your ice cream shop in the middle of the Sahara Desert. No matter how perfect your ice cream is, you will never sell a single scoop. Meanwhile, a vendor selling average ice cream from a cart in a busy amusement park on a hot summer's day, well, they just can't keep up with demand. This is exactly what it's like having a great digital product, but no distribution. The quality of your product matters, and it matters a lot, but it only matters when people see your product. And without distribution, no one sees it. And that is the exact problem that Ghostwriter solves. If you don't remember, originally, I wasn't even going to reveal this publicly, okay? I wanted to keep this secret because the only way to truly see the real power of this tool is to use it in practice. There is no amount of words I can say here that will do justice to the output of the bonus that I'm about to reveal. So let's say you want to get into search distribution. You don't know what topics, ideas, or angles to create for your search optimized YouTube videos, okay? Ghostwriter creates the video ideas for you. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Inside Ghostwriter, you can have dozens of agents. Those are basically done for you AI employees that will get all the work delivered to you with a single click of a button. So let's say you want to write a product page. Let's say you don't know how to do it. Just select the landing page agent. Then click generate and it's done. The entire page text is written for you. Or if you need a script for video on your product page, let's say you don't know how to script it. You don't need to. Just select the perpetual conversion video agent. Click generate and you have a video with potential of generating hundreds of thousands of dollars worth for your digital product. a video that will convert strangers into buyers on autopilot 24/7 based on the same scripts that I've used and tested exhaustively on my own products to generate over $100 million in digital product sales. All of that with a single click of a button. Then let's say you now want to use that same video concept to create dozens of short form for socials. Let's say you don't know how to turn that one concept into 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 different short form videos. Ghostwriter will create these new concepts for you and write the scripts for each one of them. All you need to do here is go to the content tab, generate the video idea with the viral hooks agent. Then you click generate and it will come up with dozens of different concepts for your video. And if you want to get those ideas written for you, you just go back to the content section and select the short content scripts. You paste your video concept there and you click generate, and then it will write the entire script of that video for you, a script with real chances of not only attracting a lot of views, but also sales for your product. There are over 33 unique agents that you can choose from. That is 33 done for you AI employees. So that way, all you have to do is select what you want done and click a single button to get the whole thing done for you. And that will be your entire distribution setup with a simple few clicks of a button in minutes, not hours, not days. Listen, if you were to pay for a team to write all these scripts for yourself, that would probably cost you 6 figures, even a month. That will cost you, because we have 33 AI employees right here, okay, working for you 24/7, okay? The amount of money that will cost you is inconceivable. And this is why we sell this enterprise plan for $2,999 a year for a license, okay? This is more expensive than anything else on the market because it's also better. It is a specialized tool for a specialized outcome, okay? Now, listen, if you want to go use another tool and have a Toyota experience, go for it, okay? We're giving you the McLaren experience, okay? If you want to go and try and shave your face, okay, and you want to use a kitchen knife to try to shave your face because, well, kitchen knives, they cut, okay? Or you want to go use a scissor, or you want to go use a chainsaw. A chainsaw is used for cutting. Be my guest. But we're giving you the specialized tool for a specialized outcome. And by the way, considering that this replaces entire content departments, this is cheap. For you, though, when you join Monetize, you're going to get full access to Ghostwriter OS 100% free. Do you see how by simply pairing Synthesis AI, Ghostwriter OS, and WAP, you can now go from having to develop a digital product all by yourself, having to figure out how to get distribution for this product, having to deliver each product manually, to now having a proven product fully created for you by Synthesize, having the full distribution strategy mapped out and executed by Ghostwriter, and having your product delivered 24/7 on autopilot with WAP. Do you understand how that is a difference between being aware of a huge opportunity and now having access to the resources you need to actually act and take full advantage of this opportunity? You have just discovered a rich oil reserve, and I'm going to give you the oil rig and the team to extract and sell that oil. At this point, there's only one thing you are missing: access. And the truth is, the best opportunities will only be accessible behind closed doors. That's how it's always been, and that's how it will always be. So, wouldn't you love for someone who's already made it in life and has insane levels of access to literally just take you under their wing, invite you to their jet, and take you to places you could only normally watch from afar? Who wouldn't love that, right? Well, that's exactly what I'm proposing here. First, with Monetize Mania, I'm handing you a golden ticket to Monetize Mania. This is me giving you access to a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to have a real chance of winning something huge, $250,000 in prizes, to be more precise. All you have to do is commit to this new digital product 2.0 opportunity, not for 2 years, not for 1 year, but for 90 days. Can you commit to something for just 90 days? Because if you can, this might be the push you need to finally go all in on your dreams of starting your own business and breaking free from the traditional system. 90 days from now, you could be an ungovernable individual, and you could get compensated very well for achieving that. Here's how it's going to work. The person who creates their digital product with Synthesize and earns the most money from it in the next 90 days will get these keys right here. These are the keys to a brand new McLaren. And 90 days from now, I will personally hand someone these keys in person. And not only that, I'm going to give 5 Rolex watches to the next top 5 earners and 10 remote suitcases for the next top 10 earners. And by the way, you're going to need these suitcases because the top 30 earners will all get to fly out to our WAP New York offices for a 1-day in-person mastermind with myself and the WAP team. Where else do you get access to these levels of prizes in a competition that's actually realistic for you to win, where everyone is starting from the exact same place? Zero. By the way, this challenge starts on Monday, so no need to worry about the people who joined a few days before you. Everyone is actually going to start from zero on Monday onwards. Bonus 3 is premium WAP distribution. Now, part of having access to high-level individuals is that you get to enjoy perks that literally no one else has access to. That is why I've made this multi-million dollar investment into WAP, which comes with benefits that no one else in the industry can get. And you, as someone who gets to come with me on this jet, you get to take advantage of my deal to make you lots of money. Because I've got on this arrangement for every single member inside of Monetize to get premium placement inside of WAP. We're going to have an entire category page just for us in the marketplace that moves the most volume of digital products in the world. Meaning, just by being a part of Monetize, you already have an unfair advantage over everyone else in the industry. That is the equivalent of having a physical product business, okay, and getting free shelf space in the front row of all Walmart stores around the US. How valuable is that? It's difficult to even put a price tag on that because you're essentially getting exposed to hundreds of thousands of buyers who spend millions of dollars a month on products just like yours. Remember the example I gave you earlier of the uncle who owns the most popular mall in your country and gives you premium location for free? That is the equivalent of, this is the equivalent of that in the digital world. I'm taking you under my wing and giving you access to a location that most people will pay tens of thousands of dollars for. So, are you going to keep struggling from the lack of access, or will you use it to your advantage so that way you can have an unfair edge over everyone else and enjoy the benefits that come with having access to the right people? Now, talking about what access can give you, it's time to address that huge announcement that I mentioned earlier today, which, as I said, is only going to be available until the end of this session. So trust me, you don't want to leave until you've made your mind up on this one. You see, I was talking to Jason after our session yesterday when I realized something that was hidden right in front of me this entire time. I don't know if you know this, but Jason didn't make most of his money by selling his own digital product. No, it's actually been 8 years since the last time he sold his own digital product. And by the way, in terms of actual earnings, money in the bank, he's in the top 0.0001% of this industry. And by the way, I don't think most of you guys realize this, but Jason holds the record, the world record for the highest grossing digital product launch in history. He made $57 million in a single product, digital product launch. $57 million. Now, how's that even possible if he doesn't sell his own products? Well, turns out there's an alternative model that you can use to make lots of money in this industry. And that is by partnering with someone who already owns a distribution channel. Imagine you own a restaurant and you could choose one single competitive advantage over anything else. I want you to drop in the chat, what would that advantage be? If you could choose any competitive advantage, okay, what would it be? Because I know what it would be for me. My answer, the best competitive advantage you could possibly choose is a hungry crowd. Because when you have a hungry crowd, it doesn't matter how good your food is, how high your prices are, or how big the line is to get in. When you have a hungry crowd, they will sit and they will clamor, okay? They will sit in line, they will beg, and they will do anything they can to buy your food. And the fact is, there are tens of thousands of businesses out there that have a hungry crowd, and they're simply not offering food to them. And there's no easier win than that. And when I realized that, and maybe you're watching this, you want to get into digital products 2.0, but you don't necessarily want to have to worry about distribution. Well, then maybe, just maybe, you would prefer to partner with someone out there who already has part of that equation sorted. They already have a hungry crowd. So that way, all you help them do is build their digital product. And that's how Jason made most of his money in this industry. And that's exactly what I used to do back in my agency days. You see, back in my agency days, I used to take a return on ad spend, basically like a percentage of what I made them, okay? And I would go to existing digital product businesses. I would help them with their digital products, help them put it together. And by the way, that used to take me hours and hours and hours and months and months and months. And now, all of a sudden, you can actually get that done like a snap of a finger. And then I would launch that project and I would launch that product for them and take a percentage of their profits. So these days, creating a digital product for them is easy because you already have the recipe for how to do that. You have the software synthesized. So that way you don't even need to do it yourself. So the only missing piece here, okay, would be learning how to actually partner with these people with hungry crowds and how to actually find these people and get them on board. And that is precisely what I used to teach inside of my highest selling digital product ever. The very product that created the most success stories in this entire online industry, Agency Accelerator. We've had tens of thousands of people paying $995 to join this program. It is literally dozens and dozens of pages of transactions. It literally teaches you how to identify these people with hungry crowds and partner up with them for a profit share on their sales. So I brought this up to my team. I told them that, hey, for the people who don't want to sell things on their own, and maybe they don't want to have to worry about distribution, we could potentially sell them a package of Agency Accelerator plus Monetize. But there was a problem because you can't really buy this product anymore. Okay. It's been discontinued for 6 months. We haven't sold it for 6 months. Okay. We completely closed up shop, done, never available again. So even if you wanted to pay me the, $9.95, which thousands and thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of people paid for it, you couldn't get this because all my delivery systems for this product have been taken down. And by the way, this was pre-WAP. So it was a super complicated platform. And getting all that stuff back up and live, okay, just wouldn't be worth it. But I still want you to have a chance to have access to this. So here's what I had decided to do with the team. I'm going to take all the content from Agency Accelerator, dozens and dozens and dozens of terabytes of footage, because by the way, that program was all recorded on cinema grade red cameras, okay? Hundreds of thousands of dollars of cinematography equipment in the most beautiful locations in the world. So it is super, super heavy files, okay? It's large files. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload all that footage inside of the monetized WAP for you. Now, you might be wondering, how much is that going to cost you additionally, okay? Now, if you want to get this with monetize right now as a special extra, okay, as a bonus, I'm not going to charge you $9.95 for it. For me, I feel like that's not right. In fact, I'm not even going to charge you $500 for it. When you join monetize during today's live session, you're going to get Agency Accelerator completely free. Now, as long as you join before I click end on this streaming software, before we end today's live, as long as you join before the end of today's live session, you're going to get access to it. If you've already enrolled, or if you enroll before the end of our call today, then you get this live session only bonus. This is why I tell you guys, show up live, because you guys get benefits and bonuses that no one else gets. Now, if you've already enrolled yesterday or the days before, don't worry, because this is my free gift to you. Okay, because as you know, anytime you work with me or my companies, we are going to under promise and over deliver. So we already had a bunch of people buy without this bonus. So you bought without this bonus, and now I've given you an extra $1,000 worth, like not fake, oh, blah, blah, it's worth this much. You've won this extra bonus now on top. My gift to you. So with this knowledge, we've had kids in high school successfully starting their businesses and scaling them to over $10,000 a month. Just like a 17-year-old Ellen, who started making over $70,000 a month in profit. We've had people do it in North America, in Europe, but also in countries like India, Nepal, Algeria, South Africa, and everywhere else you can imagine. With this knowledge, we even had countless people who could barely speak English succeeding with access to the exact same knowledge. Do you see how realistic it is for you to actually succeed with this? See, my job here is to always over deliver. That is the type of perk you get when you get access to the right people. So if you've already signed up, get used to this, because I'm going to keep giving you more and more stuff that you didn't even know that you were getting. And by the way, speaking of the people who sign up today and get these bonuses, there's probably some other secret stuff I have up my sleeve. There's probably some other stuff I haven't been telling you I have up my sleeve that maybe you'll also get access to for free as a monetized member. So when you join Monetize today, you're going to get Digital Product Formula, which shows you step-by-step the best approach to unlock your profits with Digital Products 2.0. You're going to get Synthesis AI, which is our McLaren-style AI software that creates digital products for you with just a few clicks of a button. You're going to get Ghostwriter OS, the AI software that can turn one income source and one distribution source into 2, 3, 4, 5 sources done for you quick and easy. Plus access to Monetize Mania, where you're going to participate for $250,000 in prizes, including an actual McLaren. You're going to get premium distribution on WAP. That is your online beachfront property where you're going to have your products in front of millions of predisposed buyers who are already purchasing products just like yours. And our live session only bonus, Agency Accelerator. So that way you can find and partner with individuals who already have a hungry crowd wanting to buy from them to unlock large income wins fast. And the total value here is well over $10,000, okay? And by the way, this would be an incredible deal if all you had to do was invest $10,000 to be a part of this. At $5,000, it would be an even better deal. $3,000 would be totally insane in terms of the incredible deals that you're going to be getting here. By the way, I'm trying to give this to you at the best economical price possible, because just in prizes alone, I'm giving away $250,000, which is why this is a incredible, mind-blowing deal at $14.95. And yes, we do have financing options available at the checkout. So here's what happens next. In just a moment, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link for you to join in the comments. Now, when I drop the link, you have a decision to make. You can either take everything we've talked about today, file it away in that was interesting information, or you can go back to doing what you've always done, okay? So you can do that, or you can take action right now. And taking the first step to becoming an ungovernable individual and achieving your turning point in the next 90 days. The choice is yours. But remember, as soon as I end today's session, this exact offer with all of these bonuses will never be available again. Okay, the McLaren competition starts soon. Agency Accelerator is a live session only bonus. And the premium placement opportunities on WAP are going to fill up fast. So if you're ready to finally be early for something big and take advantage of Digital Products 2.0 without requiring you to be some sort of guru or tech genius, then click the link that I'm dropping in the live chat in 3, 2, 1 now. But remember, as soon as I end today's session, this exact offer with all these bonuses will never be available again. So here's what's going to happen next. You're going to get redirected to our product page with all the details about this offer. Then when you click the button, get access now on that page, you'll get a pop-up to fill up your contact information. From there, you're going to get redirected to WAP, which is where you're going to finalize your checkout and select your payment option. Once that's done, you're going to get automatically redirected to the monetized WAP, where you're going to get instant access to the digital product formula. And you're also going to be able to log into Synthesis AI as well as Ghostwriter OS. Agency Accelerator is currently being uploaded to a monetized WAP as we speak and should be available by Monday at the latest. As I said, it's literally dozens and dozens of terabytes of footage, and we literally just had that idea last night to do this. So it's still uploading in there, and I'll let you know once it is done. Inside the swap, you're also going to be able to see the countdown to the start of our Monetize Mania competition, which kicks off on Monday. What you need to understand here is that Monetize is an entire package with lots of different gears that spin together. If you take one of these gears out, everything else stops working. It's not just the AI tools or the information or the premium distribution. It's everything put together, okay? You can have the best tools, but if you don't have the right information showing you how to use it properly, it won't do anything for you. Just like with the right information, without those tools, you won't be able to act on the insights. I'm giving you the engine, the transmission, the wheels. If you take one out, your car won't go very far, okay? You wouldn't try to put a Fiat engine in a McLaren because it simply wouldn't run. And that is the beauty of a McLaren. It's perfectly crafted so that every single component works together to achieve insane levels of performance and success. And that is truly what Monetize is. It's not just an AI or a course. It is your chance to take advantage of the best opportunity of 2025, Digital Products 2.0, with my direct guidance and all the tools you need to not only act on this opportunity, but have the best possible chances over everyone else to succeed. And after all, if you get into a race and you're driving a McLaren, and you have way more chances of winning than someone else who's just driving a Fiat. Most importantly, we're going to do this over a 90-day sprint, not 1 year, not 2 years. Okay, we are going to do this over 90 days together. And by the way, if you do well, you have a chance of winning a real McLaren 90 days from now. And by the way, the reason why I told you this is potentially the greatest risk-free offer in history is because we have an insane guarantee for Monetize. This is a better than money back guarantee. It is a work with you until you win guarantee. It's simple. You either make at least $15,000 with your digital product, or we keep working with you until you do, period. And what that means is we will never charge you another dollar. We're going to keep coaching you. We're going to keep giving you updates to new programs. We're going to keep supporting you until you hit that $15,000 mark. Now, I know some of you guys might be thinking, well, how do you actually verify those numbers? And that is a very fair question, because most programs, in fact, no programs out there can offer this sort of guarantee because they have no real way to verify if you ever hit those numbers. And that is what that's what truly makes our guarantee different, because we can see everything through WAP. Every sale, every customer, every dollar, it is all tracked on our backend, which means we're not working on some sort of honor system where you have to trust us about the results or we have to trust you. We can literally verify every number in real time. And that is why we offer such a strong guarantee, because we know this works and we know, okay, we can prove that it's working for you. So really, you only have two choices. Either you succeed and make at least $15,000, or we keep coaching you and we keep working with you until you do. So there really is no way to lose. And in addition to all that, your investment is also protected by a 7-day full refund policy, meaning if for any reason you don't like what you get inside Monetize, you have 7 days to get 100% of your money back. All you need to do is email support@educate.com and ask for it, and it will get processed within 24 hours, no questions asked. With this, I'm literally taking all the risk out of the deal, okay? All the risk is on my side. I couldn't possibly be taking more risk on my side. You don't have any risk on your end today. The fact is, $14.95 is not going to be a make or break situation, okay? $14.95 is such a small, tiny amount of money, okay? It's a tiny amount of money, and it's not going to do anything for you, okay? It's not going to be a make or break situation. The truth is, what you need is not money, but you need to learn how to create a money printer, a machine that prints money for you consistently on demand. Because once you have that, all of your problems get eradicated, okay? It's as simple as that. And on Monetize, we work with you until you have that in place. There's no fancy conditions. There's no complicated rules. There's no sneaky fine print. And by the way, if you have any issues at checkout, our team is going to reach out to you within 5 minutes through the contact information they actually use to fill out on the checkout page. So make sure you keep an eye out on your WhatsApp or SMS for that. And if finances are tight for you, I get it. We have some of the best financing partners in the world, okay? Why? To make this accessible to anyone who is serious about changing their situation. And because we process everything on WAP, which by the way also gives me data to stuff that other people don't have data to, we're able to offer financing plans that literally no one else can. We're talking about breaking this down into manageable payments that anyone can afford. So what you should have in mind is that finding a single winning product is really all you need to do. Get to decide on what you work, where you work from, when you work, or if you even want to work in the first place. No longer stress about money and reclaim ownership of your life and be the one dictating the shots again, okay? That is the goal here. You're only one digital product away from the life that you have always dreamed of. Now, before we get into our favorite part, which is our live Q&A, there's one last thing I need to cover, and that is the workbook. Every single day, I will send a workbook in the WhatsApp group for the challenge with your homework. If you're not there yet, you can register by joining with your email using the link in the description of this video. By the way, every single workbook has its own password that you actually need to be able to type in, and you get access to that live. So today's workbook is deliver. All caps, deliver is the password. All caps, deliver. That's the password. Remember, the only ones that will actually see results from this challenge are the ones who take action, who act like ungovernable individuals before you actually become one. So your homework for today is simple. Ask yourself, what's currently stopping you from taking advantage of this digital product 2.0 opportunity? I want you to note that down. Then I want you to come with a simple, actionable plan that you are going to implement by the end of this week to make sure to solve the thing that is stopping you right now. It sounds simple, but this exercise is immensely powerful. And as always, you can check all the details in the resource page. All you have to do is follow along the instructions in the workbook. Now, with that being said, it is time for our Q&A portion, our sort of more informal hangout chill session. So you guys can go ahead and drop some questions in the chat below. We got my co-host, Jason, who's just come into frame. And yeah, we will get into it.